My father's thumb was hovering over a button that said apply now. The house was dark hours before, only the glow of the Social Security website lighting his face. He turned 62 that week. Take it a while, it's still there, he said. I asked him to wait, and I ran the math. Pressing that button would quietly cost our family $245,000 over his life. $250,000 gone with one signature that felt safe. Remember that number because it's not even the worst part. The worst part is what that same signature does to whoever he leaves behind. I'll show you that math before we finish. This is not a scam. Social Security is real. It's the most reliable check most people ever get. What I'm exposing is a rule of thumb so common everyone repeats it, and it's a mathematically backwards thing. Take it early before it runs out. Let me show you how that one sentence bleeds a family dry. Here's how the lie gets sold, and notice how reasonable it sounds. Get your money while you can. The program is growing broke. The fund runs dry in 2034, and the politicians will never fix it in time. Collect before they take it, and who knows how long you'll live. You nodded at some of that. Almost everyone does. In the 1990s, more than 60% of new claimants filed the earliest age. In 2024, about 66% still did. In 2025, filings surged roughly 15 to 17%, and a AARP poll found 49% of early claimers based reports the program was running out of money. So the fear is real. But the lie is not in the facts, it's in the framing. You're not sold this as an investment you have to time where grabbing it sooner wins. It's not an investment, it's insurance, and insurance pays off at the moment you are most exposed. Now watch the headline number meet reality. Start with the fantasy my father had. I'll just take the maximum. For a maximum earner claiming at 70 in 2026, that's $5,181 a month, $62,172 a year. But that number is a wager you collect only by waiting. To get there, you held out until 70 and earned the delayed retirement credit, 8% a year, 24% in total. Claim at the full retirement age of 67 instead, and you forfeit all of it. The check drops to $4,152. Cash out earlier still, and the penalty is permanent. Claim at 62 and the government takes 30% off 60 months early and it never comes back. You fall to $2,969 a month. The age 70 check is about 74.5% larger than the 62 check for the rest of your life. Now follow both versions of my father out to 90. The one who claimed at 62 collects for 336 months, $997,584. The one who waited collects for 240 months, $1,243,444. The gap between those two lives is $245,856. That is the bet. But here's what the people screaming wait until 70 never tell you, because honesty cuts both ways. That $250,000 is a bet that you live past the break-even age, around 80.7. So the worry, what if I die first, is real. Except 1 in 4 people who reach 65 live past 90. Waiting is not a bet you're trying to win. It's insurance against the most expensive outcome of all, outliving your money. Almost nobody is the maximum earner. Only about 6% of workers ever earn above the cap, so watch the same shape hit an ordinary check. At the end of 2025, the typical 62 claimer collected $1,424 a month. The one who waited collected $2,275. Out to 90, the gap is $67,536. Smaller number, same trap. And there is one more edge inside the bigger check that almost nobody counts: the annual raise. Every January, Social Security adds a cost of living adjustment, and the adjustment is a percentage. This year, it's 2.8%. On the age 70 check, that percentage is worth about $145 a month in new money. On the age 62 check, about $83. Same percentage, same year, but the man who waited gets a raise $62 a month bigger, and he gets that bigger raise every single year for the rest of his life, each one compounding on top of the last. To be clear, the adjustment is an inflation offset, not real growth. It keeps your purchasing power level, but it keeps a bigger check level. The early claimer locked in a smaller check, and with it, a smaller raise forever. There are 2 more traps the rule of thumb never says out loud. First, the earnings test. Claim at 62 but keep working, and in 2026 you lose $1 of benefits for every 2 you earn over $24,480. Second, and this one never stops, up to 85% of your benefit becomes taxable once your combined income passes $34,000 single, $44,000 married. Those thresholds were set in 1983 and 1993 and never once adjusted for inflation, so every raise drags more retirees over a tax line that has not moved in decades, exactly as designed. Now, the strongest leg the lie stands on, it really is going broke. That part is half true, which is what makes it dangerous. The 2025 Trustees Report projects the combined trust funds run dry in 2034, but on that day, the payroll tax is still flowing and cover 81% of scheduled benefits. A 19% cut, not zero. So to dodge a possible 19% cut a decade away, one Congress has never once let fully land, the early claimer locks in a guaranteed 30% cut today. The fear is real. The response is backwards. I'll not pretend everyone should wait. Claiming early is right for a real set of people. If your health is poor or your family dies young and you genuinely will not reach 81, claiming early wins the race. If you need the income now with no way to bridge the gap, a smaller check you can live on beats the bigger one that you'll not survive to collect. And if your spouse is the higher earner already delaying, you often claim earlier yourself. Waiting is a tool for a situation, not a religion. Now, the promise I made at the start, the part that should make you angry nobody told you. Picture a widow opening her first check the month after the funeral, expecting both their payments and finding one. When a spouse dies, the survivor does not keep both checks. They keep the larger of the two for life, carrying every delayed credit the higher earner banked. So if the higher earner waits to 70, the survivor's floor does not sit at the 62 level of $2,969. It jumps to the 70 level of $5,181. Read that swing again. $2,212 more a month across 15 to 20 years of widowhood. The higher earner who waits is not buying a bigger check for himself, he's buying a permanent raise for the person he leaves behind. A 65-year-old couple has about a 53% chance one of them reaches 90. The bet is in your favor. The second move is the bridge. Instead of claiming early, spend down $60,000 to $120,000 of your own portfolio across the gap years to fund the wait. In exchange, you lock in a lifetime check that grows 8% for every year you delay. Inflation adjusted, government backed, no private annuity comes close. This was never a question about an age. 62 is not the villain. 70 is not the hero. The real question is whether you're firing a starting gun or buying an insurance policy. A starting gun says grab it now and pray you do not live too long. A policy protects the years you cannot predict and the person you leave behind. One of those is fear, the other is a plan. So stop treating Social Security like a starting gun you have to beat off the line. Start treating it like the insurance policy it was always built to be. That is the income mission. Subscribe so you do not miss what we take apart next.